listening to Betterment.com's Esoteric Podcast, where we journey to the inside kingdom and unlock esoteric truths within. Now here is your host, the Omega Wolf, of the tribe of Benjamin, and eternal servant to the house of David, Brandon, son of Benjamin.
Greetings from the Valley of the Sun, Phoenix, Arizona. Hope you're having a great day, a great week, and a great year, man. I hope everything is going well for you. Welcome to the Self Awareness Bootcamp. We are on day 5 as we trek along and we learn about self-awareness. We learn about how complex we are as computers. There is data everywhere. Data from the thoughts you think, data from the words you speak, data from the actions, data from your environment. Data is going to and fro everywhere. We live in a place of data. Great creation, great environment. There is data everywhere. There is data in the walls of your home. There is data in objects in your house. There is data in nature. Everything is data. It is called the spirit. If you want to call it the spirit, it's the same thing. We've identified before what are the components made up of the supercomputer that is you. What makes you? We know that we have input devices. We know that we have eyes, we have ears, we have thoughts, we have actions, we have environment. Understand that environment is so important. That is an input device. If you put yourself in a bad environment where there is continual negative energy, you will start to have that right to the tablet of your heart. Also know that if you spend enough time with other people, you don't have to even think about it, but just by mutual association, aka the environment, you start to take on traits of that person if you're around them. Haven't you ever noticed that you'll even start to change your laugh? All right, you change your laugh. You'll change some of the isms about yourself. You will have mannerisms that is consistent with the other person. You will even sometimes change your accent. We are continually moving data to and fro. This is a data network. This is called the spirit. They are the same thing. They are coming to and fro to your soul, and it's writing to the tablet of your heart. That database, the most coveted treasure that is you, that database that makes your heart beat, that database that makes your hair grow. You have to understand the erroneous programming that has been put in there by your corporate thoughts, your corporate actions, and most importantly, your surroundings, aka your environment, what you've been hanging around with, because it doesn't have to be spoken to you to be written to the tablet of your heart. This is very, very important. So what do we need in a secure network? You are a computer network. You are a local area network. You must secure the data that is in you as you continue to clean out your database and project new things. You're still probably not realizing how powerful you are. You can have so much abundance. All right. You can have so much abundance. You can change your life. You can change your job. You can change your relationship status. You can start ushering a continual happiness, a happiness that is there more so than any somberness, but it is up to you, and it starts with self-awareness. Let us talk about those erroneous programs. Let us talk about those limiting beliefs that come into you. All right. There is something in you that will try to sabotage you anytime that you try to go for anything big. Sometimes you'll hear my words and you're like, dang, man, I can do that. I can totally get with that. And then your subconscious programming will release chemicals and say, well, you know what? We don't have the money, or the rich is just for people with money who inherit money. I mean, there's so many programs and hangups. You write over them and then we move on. Every secure network needs an edge device. An edge device. We are concerned about the data coming in. The edge device is known as a firewall. We must keep a firewall in our brain, in ourselves, all the time. And that firewall must have continual definitions updated all the time for threats, for viruses, for malware, all right? Malware, very bad, all right? Que malísimo, that malware is bad. You do not want it in the tablet of your heart, because once the malware is there, it is running. And remember, we talked about the iceberg? The iceberg is more powerful underneath the water, the part that you do not see. We are all icebergs. So having the secure firewall is the ability to seize every thought. All right. As these good thoughts are being inputted by your mind, your speech, and your environment, you must gird yourself against bad speech, limiting speech. You must catch it at the firewall level, at the level as it enters your network. You have to capture it before it gets put into circulation in you. You must stop it. All right. Limiting thoughts. I can't do that. I don't have the money to do that. Thoughts of like continual just defeat of going to work. That feeling you get in the pit of your stomach at 2:00 in the afternoon on Sunday, like, oh God, I got to go to work. That's a limiting belief, man, because that is a negative program. Oh, I got to go to work tomorrow. That is a program that's running, and it will release those somber chemicals once again until you go in and rewrite it. At the firewall, you must capture things of your environment. Negativity, people talking bad about other people, walk away. Get away from that bad environment. Ask to be moved to another cubicle. Ask to go to another department. Stay away from that continual talk. Or as it's trying to enter you, speak against it. Speak against it. Think against it. Be at peace with yourself, because the ultimate goal of self-awareness is to keep that vibration at a positive level, at a high positive level, so that you can attract. It's all about having the best abundant life that you can have. And the majority of us, we really don't know what it's like to have an abundant life. Even myself, we're still growing, and I'm still growing. But if people from a third world country were to look at us and see the lives that we live in the luxury that we have, just in mediocrity here in the States, man, they'd be like, man, that is paradise. That is paradise to go into your refrigerator and grab whatever you want. So be grateful too as well, but continue to strive. Continue to strive to get bigger and better things. Continue to strive to be free, where you can roam around and do whatever you want, whenever you want. All right? It is for you. It is for you. I want you to go out there and try and make up your mind. And we'll get into the technicalities of going after something and going after a goal and having a goal and then having the elbow grease to go ahead and achieve it. It's very, very attainable. So keeping your definitions straight on your firewall means being in a continual thought pattern. You are always sitting there and filtering the data that is coming in. You are continually inspecting the data that is coming in. One of the things that is the hardest thing to get over is when somebody continually gets over in front of you. Somebody continually gets away with murder in front of you. Somebody continually gets away and has an easy sled because they are dishonest all the time. And what happens is we're so concerned with them. And I have a bad example of this in my life that I'm changing, man. There's people I know who are getting over, grown-ass people who are not even paying bills, who don't even have to pay bills. They are getting over in the system, and I'm sitting here concerning myself with it. I concern myself with it, and therefore what it does is it gives me an adversarial signature. It gives me a satanistic signature, because Shaitan or Satan means to be an adversary. to be an adversary. So it changes my internal frequency and I become frustrated, and it is not helping the cells of my body. It's a striving frequency. And what are you going to attract? Striving. What are you going to attract while you are white knuckling it through life? What are you going to strive, or what are you going to get when you are biting your lip? That is a frustration frequency. And whatever goodness has been coming to you, and there are good things, if you're a positive person and you want and ask and it starts to come, when you get into a negative frequency, you suspend those meteorites heading toward you of goodness. They are in a suspense mode because you have repelled them. Sometimes you get so dark and so depressed that you will repel that goodness that is coming to you. Don't do that, man. Don't do that. Be self-aware and clean that temple. Make sure that it is always running at a high vibrational frequency, and get used to doing that. When you get used to doing that, your life will change. You will look back 90 days later and say, man, I'm really almost not the same person that I was, because you'll see that everything starts to fall into place. You'll start to see that the subconscious mind, aka the Godhead, aka Jerusalem, aka the throne, will start to take command, and you will start to have a well of inspiration. You will have the ability to start to create, and you should never stop asking. And I'm not even calling it asking. Stop projecting the things that you want, or don't stop projecting the things that you want. Continually project them. That is prayer. When you're thinking, you're praying. All right? When you're speaking, you're praying. It's not the prayer that we talk to Kenny Loggins in the sky and ask for something. God has made you a sovereign over the kingdom and the universe within you, and you have to be able to speak to it. If there is something you want and you desire it, you must proclaim it that it is coming. You must proclaim that it is coming, and you must say it until you believe it. All right, a lot of us say stuff, but it's coming from the 5%, and the 95% is like, bullshit, that ain't happening. All right, we have to continually, by repetition over and over again, repetitive thoughts, get it into the subconscious mind. It takes about 40 days. Some say it takes 70 days, but you will know, because you will feel this overwhelming feeling of confidence when you proclaim such things. But you say it over and over again. This is how you attract what you want. This is how you attract what you want. You visualize it. If it is a new truck that you want, put that picture of the truck everywhere, and then tell people in your household, I'm going to get that truck. But when you say that, you better say it with a compelling resolve. You must say it so that you almost want people to say, yeah, you can't afford that. You're not going to get that truck, because it is a challenge, and you, through positivity, are like, oh, I'm getting that, man. I remember a long time ago, I was broke, and I was having my son born, and I was told, no, you can't afford college. And I looked at that person and I said, I said, F you, I'm going to college. There was nothing there to stop me. I had made up my mind. And for 5 years, I went through college working a full-time job. Man, boy, did it suck. But you know what? I put those blinders on, and I just was like a horse, man. I just had that tunnel vision. And through all the pain and discomfort and everything that had to do with going to college, man, it was tough, but I'll tell you what, man, it was one of the greatest accomplishments of my life, because I made up my mind. And that's what we have to do. We have to make up our mind. Keep your thoughts pure, man. I'm not talking about avoiding sex, drugs, and rock and roll. You know what? You will know when any of those things are starting to offend the temple. The temple will tell you and say, hold on a second, everything is clean, brother, but you know what? You tended to go overboard on this one subject, all right? God is not a God of prohibition. God is a God of abundance, all right? Now, if you're doing things that are gnarly to other people, man, yeah, you're breaking some commandments, dude. And your temple will tell you. Your inner kingdom will say, I'm not cool with that, because there are good programs that are running that God installed in us that are running, and it will tell you. It will tell you if you're starting to delve into much physicality and things of that nature, your inner self will tell you, listen to your gut. That's where the gut brain is. That's where everything is coming from. But you should be in a continual brainstorm. You should be in a continual motion of thoughts and firewalling your thoughts. Firewalling your thoughts. Remember, I told you in the last podcast, don't let anyone speak negative to your finances, even if it's your spouse and your spouse is a doubting Thomas. Don't let them doubt your stuff. Just pause them and say it very polite, like, don't doubt what I can do. You might not have big projections for money and things like that, but I do. You might not have big projections for fitness, but I do. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that. And every time they try to speak a negative word, this is part of the firewalling process. Sorry, not to be offensive or whatever, but I got a program that I'm installing in myself, and I would not have you speak negative towards my program. I said, I'm not being an ass or anything like that, but please, man, if you're going to doubt in your life, and you can say that to your spouse, and your positivity will rub off on them, because it's by the most powerful broadcast that always wins. That's why when you're in a big group of friends, the alpha, everyone starts to copy the alpha's laugh. Everyone starts to emulate the ways of the alpha, the most popular. All right. This is what you need to do in your household, is you must become the strength of the house. You must become the rock. You don't have to be an ass. You don't have to be a know-it-all. Watch that know-it-all spirit, man. Be humble. Be humble. Sorry, honey, but can you please, when I'm projecting goodness, I promise you it's going to benefit us in the end. But let me project this goodness within me. And please, if you want to say something negative and stuff like that, I totally understand. You're not trying to be hurtful to me, honey. I understand that. But please, man, if you can just work on refraining from that. I'm not taking it personal, but I'm just trying to get myself in this mindset, because I want to program this goodness. I want to program these things. And I remember, just telling people, I remember my best friend, we would talk about these things in our office, and he's always a yeah, but, yeah, but, this and that or whatever. I'm like, no. This is what I'm doing. There's no choice. There's no choice in the matter. And him and I could BS with each other anyway. So we're men, so we could be a little bit more harsher and firmer and a little arrogant with one another, because at the end of the day, we know we love one another. But yeah, just remember that know-it-all spirit. Sometimes it's good to hold that tongue and stay silent. Sometimes, your being well opinionated is not well received around everyone. Let your actions be the major influence. Let your successes be the major influences, all right? So today, let us focus on firewalling. Firewall, capturing your thoughts. And the scripture, once again, said the same thing, man. And there's going to come a day where we're going to go like, wow, the scripture is the greatest esoteric book ever. It is the manual for you, but you cannot see it. You cannot see it from the outside. You cannot see it from the outside. Everyone is projecting this outer kingdom. It's coming. The outer kingdom is coming. It's coming. It's coming. No, man. Master Yahushua said, it's here. It's here already. You can touch it. You can touch it. The kingdom was already here, and it's in you. And that's what is happening. You are unlocking that kingdom, and you will respect that kingdom, man. When you start doing gnarly things and stuff like that, you need to drive all that stuff out of the temple. All right. You need to respect yourself. You need to love yourself. That first commandment, what Master Yahushua said, he said the greatest 2 commandments ever. He says to love God with all your heart and your soul and your mind, right? God is in you. That is the subconscious mind. That is the hard drive that God gave you, all right, in creation, and then the running program that's there. The ability to use his power. He gave you the power, just like the water company gives you the water. It's up to you to do what you want with that water. All right. Now, when you screw up and you flood the neighbor's house and stuff like that, you're not going to curse the water company. The water company brought the water to you. All right. But It's your responsibility to take care of them pipes. It's your responsibility to make sure that sprinkler is not shooting over the wall. That's your responsibility. You use that water to bathe yourself and to cleanse yourself. All right. That's the way it is. God, the Creator, said, here's my spirit. It's there. Do what you will with it. All right. But at the end, man, don't blame me. Don't blame me. And this is what we're all doing. We're blaming God. So we've created all of these God constructs everywhere in the celestial universe. And we're like, oh, this God or that God. And we all have different gods. There's like 10,000 different versions of Jesus, Yahushua. And so what is consistent? The consistency is the power that's in you. All right. And the power that's coming into you doesn't have an agenda. This is where a main fallacy comes from, that we believe that God has an agenda, that he wants to wipe out these people because they don't agree with his will. We have constructed that, all right? That water that comes in to you in your household from the water company, it has no agenda. That electricity that comes into your house has no agenda. It's just providing. That's the same thing with God. God is just providing. God has given us all the dominion. Once we get that, to do what we want with it. You can either be God or you can be the devil. There is no devil except human beings. Human beings are the devil. Human beings are the creators of war. Human beings are the creators of covetousness. Human beings are the creators of poisoning one another. Human beings are the creators of fist fights. Those are adversarial behaviors. Covetousness, man. Looking over at the next cube and seeing, Sally get away with murder and stuff like that. And you just have these feelings of animosity towards her because life is not fair. So what you've done is you've set aside the glory that's in you, and you're like, I'll be back. I want to go and check this out. And you just are looking at something wrong. The power is in you. Use that power, keep it clean, keep it safe, keep it secure, and start evicting all those erroneous behaviors. Write things down on a ledger. I have this saying that I made up, and it's called, your remembrance will be your resemblance. However you want to appear, the new you. Everyone has a new version of a new you, a new creation, a new person, all right? Imagine that person. That person is abundant. That person is fit. That person is secure, is confident, is helping other people. You're not quite there yet, but remember that your remembrance of all these things that I'm telling you right now will one day be your resemblance if you stay on task. All right. Thanks a lot for listening, guys. This is the Traceoteric Podcast, broadcasting from Phoenix, Arizona, the Valley of the Sun. Have a great day.